Hi guys.
Looks like the sunny weather has unfortunately gone away from Vancouver, which is a shame.
But hopefully we'll see some sunshine soon.
It is summer after all.
It is summer after all.
All right.
All right.
Who's in class today?
Feel free to type in hello or good morning to me, so I can see who's here today to learn with us.
All right. It's Tuesday.
All right. It's
so
Tuesday.
So Tuesday is usually
reading day.
So we got quite a bit of reading.
And we got discussion. So,
for our first class,
you can probably see I have already set up the board.
We're doing one of
our Guardian articles.
So it'll be a long read,
but it should be quite informative.
We got an interesting
topic up here, as you can see.
Second class, we are going to be doing discussion on TV and the media.
So that'll be fun.
For our third class,
we have a breaking news English.
So another reading article,
but with a bit more discussion and vocabulary.
Okay. So let's get started, guys.
So
let's take a look at our title.
Let's take a look at our title. Fake news is killing people's minds. Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Can anyone tell me
what is
fake
news?
Do you guys know what
fake news is?
Do you guys know the word fake?
So fake
essentially
means
not
real,
true.
not true.
So I could say for example.
Okay, this is just an example.
My ring has
fake diamonds in it.
Okay, it actually
is real diamonds.
But
apparently,
you can get rings with fake diamonds, and they're cheaper than rings with real diamonds.
So fake news is essentially
news that is not
real. It is not true.
Now,
this term started becoming popular
2016, I
when
believe,
Donald Trump, we all know who he is,
President
of the United States of America.
He started
using this term a lot. So now this is a very
normal term in
the English language. So it's a recent English word. It's pretty new. Considering.
So fake news is
killing people's minds. All right.
So what do you think of this phrase?
Fake news is killing people's minds.
So do you think this is true?
Do you think this is true?
Do you agree with this title, or do you disagree?
There's no right or wrong answer.
Let me know your thoughts.
in the comments below.
For me,
I
think killing people's
minds. I think that's a bit drastic, but
I don't think
fake news is good for people's minds. I think it is.
It is a bit dangerous.
It is a bit dangerous. I think the fake news. So
yeah, maybe killing people's minds.
For me, I think it might be a bit drastic.
But we'll read the article
and we'll find out why this quote is here.
Why someone thinks that fake news is killing people's minds.
All right, so let's start with a little warm up. Okay.
So I've got one, two, three, 4.
So hopefully you have this sheet. If you do,
please
pull it out and follow along with me.
I have 5 statements here.
So
4 of these
statements are fake news.
One of these
statements
is
real.
So I'm going to read out 5 statements,
and I want you to try and guess
which
of those statements is real.
Which one is
okay.
true?
Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready?
It's going to be a bit tricky.
It's going to be a bit tricky, but here we go.
All right. First
statement.
Pope supported Trump
in the U.S. presidential election.
So do you think that's real?
News or fake news?
Number 2.
Famous band U2's Bono rescued in a terrorist attack.
What do you think about that one?
Number 3. Number 3.
Dogs officially
more intelligent
than
than 56% of humans.
Wow, I don't know about that.
Wow, I don't know about that.
And the fourth statement. Scientists trying to bring back the mammoth. All right, do you guys know what a mammoth is?
So this is an animal that went extinct a long time ago.
It's basically a furry elephant. So it looks kind of like this.
Here we go, and it
has really long tusks. So this is a woolly mammoth.
We call it mammoth.
So I'll write that under here.
This is
a new
word
mammoth.
for you.
So it's
mammoth.
So it's a prehistoric animal.
Sometimes we use this as an adjective.
So it could mean
huge or really big.
So like I bought mammoth amounts of candy today.
I bought a ton of
so
candy.
So it could be used as an adjective too sometimes.
Fun fact.
Okay.
So
scientists are trying to bring back this animal to life.
Real news or fake news.
And the last one, number 5. Mobile phone found on Mars. Real or fake?
Okay.
So
these are all newspaper headlines, by the way.
Which one do you think is
the real one?
Okay, so I'll write those down. So Pope supports Trump.
So I'm just gonna write down half the sentences.
And number 2, U2's
Bono
rescued in
terrorist attack.
Number 3. Dogs more intelligent than 56 of people. I don't know how I feel about that. Of people. And then this is number 4. Scientists try to bring back mammoth. To bring back mammoth. And the last one. What was the last one again? Mobile phone found on Mars.
I really like that one.
Mobile phone found on Mars. Found Mars. Okay.
So these are all pretty crazy sounding headlines.
Pretty crazy news. So which one?
Only one of them is true.
What do you guys think it is?
Number 1, number 2, number 3,
or
number 4,
or
number 5.
Type in your answers
now. Go ahead.
If you get it wrong,
don't worry. I'm not going to make fun of you, I promise.
When I first saw this question,
I didn't know which one was true.
I had an idea, but
I wasn't sure.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
Okay, I don't see any
answers
yet,
but that's okay.
I'm going to give you a few more seconds.
Okay, which one
is the real news?
Going once.
Going twice.
Going twice.
3.5 times.
And sold to the woolly mammoth that scientists are trying to bring back to life. Woo!
This is the real news.
Everything else is fake news.
It is not real.
All right.
So
it is
true that there are scientists who are trying to bring this animal
back to life.
It's controversial,
though. I mean,
it may not be a good idea to bring back an animal that went extinct thousands of years ago.
Nevertheless, it's still pretty interesting news.
All right.
That is our little warmer on fake news.
Okay.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move to part 2.
You guys are probably familiar with how this works.
But we have, I think, 10 words here.
And your job is to match one of these words to the correct sentence, the definition.
So,
If you want to find the definition, you can go through this text and you can read it to find the word
and get a better
idea of what it means.
I'll write down the paragraph numbers to help you guys out.
All right, so we're going to get rid of our woolly mammoth.
He is officially extinct.
But maybe not for long.
Because the scientists
are trying to bring him back.
That would be interesting.
Would you guys like to see a woolly mammoth?
I might like to. I think it'd be
kind of cool.
Okay.
So let's see.
Let's do number one.
And we'll do number two.
And we'll do number three.
These are all going to be in paragraph one. Okay. So number one,
a blank
is a statement
that is not true.
Is a statement that is not true.
Okay. This one you might be able to figure out pretty easily.
All right. So
this is going to be
a noun
because we have
is.
So this is
definitely going to be a noun.
There's a lot of nouns up here, so I know that doesn't really help, but hopefully it'll help a little bit.
And this is going to be in paragraph one.
All right.
And
number two,
a blank.
So this is another noun.
Also in paragraph one
is something
that causes a lot of trouble or harm.
Okay, so I'm not writing out the whole sentence because it's going to take time and that gets boring.
So if you have this sheet,
hopefully you can read along.
And number three. Is
serious spoken
or written discussion. Spoken or written discussion.
Okay. So I'm just going to end it off here.
So this is also
paragraph one.
And this is also going to be
a noun. So these are all nouns. I know this doesn't help. I'm sorry. Okay.
So
what I will do is I will show you the three words.
Actually, no, I won't show you.
I'm going to read the first paragraph.
Three of these words
will pop up.
See
if you can match them to the appropriate blank.
So here we go. First paragraph.
Fake news is
killing people's minds.
Tim Cook,
the head of Apple, has said.
The technology boss said
verbs such as his own
to create tools
that would help stop the spread of falsehoods. Falsehoods.
Without impinging on freedom of speech.
Cook also called for governments to lead information campaigns
to crack down on fake news.
In an interview with the British national newspaper.
The scourge
of falsehoods. All right, here's the next one. Scourge of falsehoods
in mainstream political discourse.
There's our third word.
Came to the fore during recent campaigns.
Okay.
We have found our three words.
Number one, number two, number three. We have to put these three words in their appropriate blanks.
Which one goes where?
Where is falsehoods going to go?
And where is
scourge going to go? And where is discourse going to go?
Type out your answers
now.
Don't delay. Send them in today.
All right.
So number one.
Blank is a statement that is not true. Falsehoods. Scourge.
Discourse.
I think number one might be easy because
there's a very important
word in there.
So discourse.
Scourge. Falsehoods.
All right.
Let me just get some water.
Okay, somebody has written falsehoods for number one.
That is correct.
Good stuff.
So you'll notice false.
True.
False.
False.
So falsehoods is a statement that is not true.
Okay.
A falsehood. A falsehood.
All right,
so that is all done.
Oh, I didn't write falsehood.
Oh, I didn't write falsehood up here. Okay. Now, number 2, a blank. What do you think? Number 2 is, any thoughts, guys? A blank is something that causes a lot of trouble or harm. And number 3, blank is serious spoken or written discussion on a particular subject. Any thoughts? Any ideas? All right. Don't see anyone responding yet. So number 2 is actually going to be scourge. So a scourge is something that causes a lot of trouble or harm. So sometimes this word can be used to talk about people even. So some people really don't like Donald Trump, including me, honestly. So some people will say, Donald Trump is the scourge of America. So that means he's just a person who causes all sorts of problems and trouble. So that's what a scourge is. I think this is a good word. We use it somewhat often in English, so it's a good one to know. So of course, that means number 3 is discourse. Discourse. All right. So discourse is serious spoken or written discussion on a particular subject. So often, especially in political areas, that's not the correct word, sorry. So when politicians are discussing new policies or laws for their country, a lot of discourse happens. A lot of, serious discussion happens on certain subjects, like passing an environmental law or immigration, like should we let immigration in, and COVID rules. Tons of discourse around COVID-19 policies and rules. All right, so that's another word I'll put up here for you. Discourse. Discourse, and it is a noun. All right, guys. Let's do number 4 and number 5 next. Okay. So if you blank something, you make it become less. Become less. Okay, so this is going to be a verb. So that should narrow down these choices a lot. Okay, we're done with scourge, we're done with discourse. This will be in paragraph 2. Paragraph 2. And number 5, if you blank something, you stop it from happening. Stop it from happening. Okay, so this is going to be another verb. I'm sorry, so this doesn't make it super easy, but I think you guys can do it. Okay, so I'm going to read out paragraph number 2, and let's find the 2 words from this box that pop up in there. Remember, they're both verbs. Okay, we are going through this period of time, right? Oh my goodness, sorry. Let me try that again. We are going through this period of time right here where, unfortunately, some of the people that are winning are the people that spend their time trying to get the most clicks, not tell the most truth, said Cook. It's killing people's minds in a way. All of us technology companies need to create some tools that help diminish the volume, of fake news. We must try to squeeze this without stepping on freedom of speech. Okay. So here are 2 verbs, diminish and squeeze. Okay, so what do you guys think? What is number 4 and what is number 5? I'll let you guys write in your answers. Oh, so I think after this we'll be halfway done. Okay. Any thoughts? Any responses? So this can have two meanings, squeeze. So the way we usually use this word, it's when we like this is like to literally squeeze something is you tighten your grip on it and you hold on to it tight. But it could also mean something else. It's not a term we use often though. Okay, I see someone writing in their answers. They said number 4 is diminish. That is correct. Good. Diminish. And number 5 is squeeze. Good job, good job. All right. Nice. Okay. So diminish, this is a good word for you guys to know, I think. So to diminish means to become less. So let's say, for example, when the sun sets at night, the light slowly diminishes from the sky. So the light becomes smaller and smaller or less and less as it becomes darker. So this is a good word. I feel like we use this in English a lot. Again, squeeze, aside from this, like the physical squeezing action, we don't use the one where it says stop. So if you squeeze something, you make it stop. Usually we don't use that term as much, but this is what it means in the article. It means to stop something. Okay, guys, so let's see. We got rid of squeeze. We got rid of diminish. Okay, we're halfway done. Woohoo! So I'm going to get rid of these sentences here. So we're going to get rid of falsehood, get rid of scourge, get rid of discourse, get rid of diminish, and get rid of squeeze. All right. Okay, so what shall we do next? I guess number 6 and number 7. Number 6. Number 7. Okay. So, yeah, number 6 and number 7 are both from paragraph 3. All right. A blank is someone who gets an advantage from a situation. Advantage. Okay, so again, I'm not going to write out the whole sentence. And number 7, and blank is a ceremony. So, a blank is a ceremony that officially celebrates someone beginning a new job, especially becoming the president of a country. So when a new president or prime minister becomes the head of the country, they get a special event. Sorry, I had a brain fart there for a second. All right, you're going to notice we have A-N. So that means this is going to start with a vowel. So we only have 2 words that start with a vowel. One of them is a noun and one of them is a verb. So what do you think is going to go here? A blank is a ceremony. Do you think a verb will go here or a noun is going to go here? Okay, so I'm going to go over paragraph 3. Okay. While instances were seen among supporters of both sides of the recent U.S. election battle, Donald Trump's campaign was seen by many as a particular beneficiary of fake news reports. And the U.S. president's team has been caught sending aides out to insist that a huge crowd had attended his inauguration. Okay, so what do you guys think the answers are? Number 6. All right, I see someone has written beneficiary. Good, yes. A beneficiary. Beneficiary. And you wrote inauguration for number 7. Good. Inauguration. Nice. Okay. So yes, a beneficiary is someone who gets an advantage from a situation. So
For example, for COVID-19, there probably aren't many beneficiaries. Not many people benefited from COVID-19, I think. Many people had a hard time with, are having a hard time with it. Now, inauguration. So this word's usually used when a new president becomes the president of a country. So, for example, in your country, are inaugurations really important? Are they a big deal? Do many people like to come and watch the inauguration ceremony of a president? You can let me know your comments if you like. Okay, so let's do number 8, number 9, and number 10. Okay, so we got beneficiary, inauguration. So we got run up, scrutinize, and ingrained. Those are our last 3. Okay. So if you blank something, so ST short for something, you examine it carefully or you look at it carefully. All right, and number 9, blank is the period of time just before an important event. Is the period of time before an important event. I'm just going to put event here. And number 10, if an attitude, belief, or habit is ingrained, so I'm just going to say if a belief, I'm just going to put belief, but if a belief, attitude, or habit is blank, it has existed for a long time and cannot easily be changed. It has existed. Okay, so what do you guys think? So all of these are going to be in different paragraphs. This is going to be in paragraph 4. Number 9 is going to be paragraph 5. And number 10 is paragraph 7. Okay. So these are all in very different paragraphs. I don't know if I'm going to read these paragraphs out right now because I am going to read out the whole article in a bit. So, if you blank blank, so do you think this is going to be a noun or a verb? You have your subject. We have our noun here. So this is probably going to be a verb, right? And we only have one verb up there. Or no, maybe we have 2. Sorry. Yeah, we have 2 verbs. My mistake. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry, I'm feeling a little bit hot. So what do you guys think number 8 is? Any thoughts or guesses? So again, it's paragraph 4. I'm just going to get some water. I'm very thirsty today for some reason. Okay. All right, I see someone has written scrutinize for number 8. Nice, good job. Yes, if you scrutinize something, you examine it carefully. Yeah, here it says, Hillary Clinton was scrutinized over her claim that there was no evidence her emails had been hacked. Okay, so this is used quite often, especially when someone is trying to find out information about another person or a thing. So police, detectives will scrutinize over information to prove someone is guilty or innocent. And number 9. What could number 9 be? A blank is the period of time before an important event. So, looks like it's going to be a noun. I think we only have one noun. What do you guys think it is? Any thoughts? All right, someone wrote run up. Nice, good job. Yeah, It is a run-up. So a run-up is the period of time before an important event. So in the run-up to an election, especially a presidential election, you will see many campaign ads on the internet, on TV. You will hear them on the radio. Vote for me. I will be your best president you ever had. So during the run-up to an election, there's tons of campaigns, tons of advertisements. Okay, and that means number 10 is going to be ingrained. If a belief, attitude is ingrained. Okay, so if a belief or attitude is ingrained, that means it's very difficult to change. So let's say, for example, in Canada, unfortunately, systemic racism is ingrained into our society. So that means the government and people in general do not treat people of color as well as white people are treated. So this has been going on for a long time. So this is something that is ingrained into North American society. It's difficult to change, but we should change it. I think we need to change this. So I'm going to put that down. Ingrained. Okay. All right, so that's our vocabulary. Awesome. Okay, guys, if you have any questions about the words or you want me to do any example sentences or explain them a bit more, let me know at any time. I'm going to erase the board for now, though. And we are going to move on to part 3, find the information. We got 6 comprehension questions, or 6 finding the information questions. Okay, get rid of that square with all the words. Okay, so what I will do is I'm going to read the whole article one time. And while I'm reading the article, I would like you guys to try to find this information. So we have 6 pieces of information we need to find. Okay, so the first one, number 1, how many times were fake anti-Clinton stories shared on Facebook in the run-up to the US presidential election? So I'll write that down. How many times were fake anti-Clinton stories shared on Facebook? Shared on, I'm going to put FB, short for Facebook. All right. So here you're going to be looking for a number, like 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times. So listen for a number and make sure you look for the word Facebook as well. Number 2, how many times were fake pro-Clinton stories shared? Clinton stories shared on Facebook in the run-up to the election. Okay, so once again, kind of a similar thing. You're going to be listening for a number. Now, pro-Clinton means like, yes, we like Clinton. She's a great presidential candidate. Anti-Clinton means no, we don't like Clinton. She's dumb. Don't vote for her. So listen carefully. Make sure you don't get the numbers mixed up. All right, and number 3, what did Kellyanne Conway call the Trump administration's falsehoods? Okay. So what did Kellyanne Conway? Okay. So make sure you listen for this name. So what did she call Trump Administrations, falsehood. Administrations, falsehoods. Okay, so falsehoods, not falsewoods. So there's another name for falsehoods that she uses. So you know what falsehoods are, right? They are things that are not true. So she has another name for them. So listen closely for this name. So it's a 2-letter word, and it begins with an A and an F. So listen for a word that has A and F in it. Two words. Number 4. Who is Tim Cook? Who is Tim Cook? So this is going to be more at the beginning of the story. So as soon as you hear his name, listen to who he is. Try to get the information. Number 5. So what percentage of those who recalled seeing fake news, who saw fake news stories, actually believed them? Okay, actually believed them. All right. So here you're going to be looking for a number and a percentage. So something percent. So how many people who saw the fake news stories believed them? So look for a percent. All right. And number 6, according to Donald Trump. So according to Trump, how far back did the crowd extend at his inauguration? How far back? How far back did the crowd extend at his inauguration? Okay. So remember, inauguration is the ceremony where you become the president. So think about how many people or how far back did it extend? Now remember, because this is Donald Trump saying this, you have to think, is it fake news or real news? Okay, guys, so I want you to try to find the information in this article. We're going to read it together, so please follow along if you can. That would be great. Okay, so we have about 13 minutes left. I think we can get through the article and answer the questions after the break. So here we go in 3, 2, 1. Fake news is killing people's minds, says Apple boss Tim Cook. Apple chief calls on governments and technology companies to crack down on misinformation in public discourse. This happened in February 2017. Fake news is killing people's minds, Tim Cook, hint, hint, the head of Apple, has said. The technology boss said firms such as his own need to create tools that would help stop the spread of falsehoods without impinging on freedom of speech. Cook also called for governments to lead information campaigns to crack down on fake news in an interview with a British national newspaper. The scourge of falsehoods in mainstream political discourse came to the fore during recent campaigns, during which supporters of each side were accused of promoting misinformation for political gain. All right, so I'm going to give you a little bit of background. So back in 2016, we had the U.S. presidential, so the Americans had to vote for their new president. So on one side, we had Hillary Clinton, and she is more left-wing Democrats. So there's two main parties in the United States. There's the Democrats and there's the Republicans. So on this side, we had Hillary Clinton, and on the Republican side, we had Donald Trump. And like, I'm not doing like a really good job of drawing him, but this is Donald Trump. Donald Trump. And he is Republicans. Okay, so basically, so the presidential election was between these two candidates, and it was really big. Now, during the run-up, remember the event before the election, many people were spreading a lot of news about these two candidates. And some of it was fake news. So this is what the article in the first paragraph is addressing. Fake news. It's a problem. And Tim Cook, so he says, we need to fix this problem. This is not good. Like, this was an issue during the election, and we need to make sure it's not an issue in the future. Okay, so paragraph 2, here we go. We are going through this period of time here where, unfortunately, some of the people that are winning, like this guy, are the people that spend time trying to get the most clicks, not telling them the truth, said Cook. So clicks, that means internet clicks, like Facebook, like or shares on Facebook. These are clicks because you use the article, click, click. It's killing people's minds in a way. All of us technology companies need to create some tools that help lessen the volume of fake news. We must try to squeeze this, stop this, without stepping on freedom of speech and the press. But we also must help the reader. Too many of us are just in the complain category right now and haven't figured out what to do. He said a crackdown would mean that truthful, reliable, non-sensational deep news outlets will win. Adding, the rise of fake news is a short-term thing. I don't believe that people want that. So he's saying that people don't really want fake news. They want real news, truthful news, and hopefully that will come back again. While instances were seen among supporters of both sides of the recent U.S. election battle, Donald Trump's campaign was seen by many as a particular beneficiary of fake news reports. So, a lot of fake news reports, basically they were very good for him. It looks like his status went up and he was able to win the presidential election potentially because of fake news reports. So Donald Trump benefited a lot from this. And the U.S. president's team had been caught sending aides out to insist that a huge crowd had attended his inauguration. Inauguration might be number 6. When the evidence showed only a relatively modest audience. Trump's spokesman, Sean Spicer, insisted that the event had attracted the largest audience to ever see or witness an inauguration. And Trump said he believed the crowd went all the way back to the Washington Monument. Okay, so Trump says, I'm going to erase some of this. Okay, so what is the Washington Monument? Okay, so I'm going to do a very bad picture. So here's the White House. And let's say Trump is giving his speech. And all the way over here is the Washington Monument. So this is what the Washington Monument looks like. It's kind of like a pointy tower in the sky. That's not the best way to describe it. So Trump says that there were people who attended his inauguration. He says the people went all the way back here. But is this true? No, it's not true. Other people people who went to this inauguration said that it was only a modest amount. So no, there weren't actually that many people. Like maybe the crowd just stretched back to here. So he says it was a very large inauguration ceremony, but that's not the truth. That is fake news. Okay, moving on. Paragraph 4, by the way. Images from the moment Trump was taking the oath showed the crowd was relatively small and went nowhere near as far down as the Washington Monument. Other evidence suggested a relatively small crowd in attendance at his inauguration ceremony. Senior aide Kellyanne Conway, Kellyanne Conway later characterized the Trump administration's falsehoods as alternative facts. Hillary Clinton was scrutinized over her claim that there was no evidence her emails had been hacked because the FBI director, James Comey, had concluded that it was likely that they had been. Okay, so during this election campaign, there was some news that Hillary's email, so I'm just going to put an M, had been hacked so that someone had somehow gotten into her email and was reading out these private messages. And that really hurt her campaign. She went down in favor, unfortunately. All right, paragraph number 5. A study by economists at Stanford University and New York University, published 2 months after November's U.S. presidential election, found that in the run-up to the vote, so before the big vote, fake anti-Clinton stories, so fake anti-Clinton stories had been shared 30 million times on Facebook, while those favoring her, pro-Clinton, were shared 8 million times. It said, the average American saw and remembered, I think this is number 5. The average American saw and remembered 0.92 pro-Trump fake news stories and 0.23 pro-Clinton fake news stories, with just over half of those who recalled them seeing fake news stories believing them. So just over half of the Americans who saw these stories believed these fake news stories. All right. So actually 2 more minutes. I'm just going to try and finish this off as quick as possible. But it called into question the power of fake news reports spread on social media to alter the outcome of the election, saying that for fake news to have changed the outcome of the election, a single fake article would need to have had the same persuasive effect as 36 television campaign ads. Nevertheless, Cook demanded action to decrease the reach of fake news. We need the modern version of a public service announcement campaign. It can be done quickly if there is a will. It has to be ingrained in the schools. It has to be ingrained in the public. There has to be a massive campaign. We have to think about every demographic. It's almost as if a new course is required for the modern kid, for the digital kid. So it sounds like we need to give programs, lessons for children, how to spot fake news. This is something that we need to learn how to find. Okay, and last paragraph. In some ways, kids will be the easiest to educate, at least before a certain age. They are very much in listen and understand mode, and then they push their parents to act. We saw this with environmental issues. Kids learning at school and coming home and saying, "Why do you have this plastic bottle? Why are you throwing it away?" So it sounds like if we teach kids about fake news, maybe they can inform their parents about fake news, and hopefully fake news will see a downfall in the future. Okay, so that is the article, everyone. Now during the break, you could try to answer these questions, or honestly just relax, don't worry, and we can go over this after the break. So I'll see you in 10 minutes, guys. Have a nice break. Bye-bye. have a nice break? Got myself some tea, so I'm ready to go. Okay, so let's hop right back into our reading. So we just finished reading the whole article, and now we are trying to answer these questions. All right, so did you guys get to find the answer for any of these? So let's take a look at number 1 and number 2, actually. Okay, so these answers are both in paragraph 5. So I'm just going to put 5 in brackets. Okay, so how many times were fake anti-Clinton stories shared on Facebook? And how many times were fake pro-Clinton stories shared on Facebook? So I'm going to read out paragraph 5 again and see if you guys can guess the answer. Okay. Here we go. A study by economists at Stanford University and New York University, published 2 months after November's U.S. presidential election, found out that in the run-up vote, fake anti-Clinton stories were shared 30 million times on Facebook, while those favoring her were shared 8 million times. Okay, so how many times were the anti-Clinton stories shared, and how many times were the pro-Clinton stories shared? Remember, they're both fake. All right, so tell me your numbers. Type them out. Okay, I'll just give you a couple seconds to do that. Oh, I'm feeling hot again. I don't know why. It's not even a hot day out in Vancouver. Crazy. Okay. Anyone? Some ideas? Okay, someone finally answered. Thank you. They said 30 million times for number 1. That is correct. So fake anti-Clinton stories were shared 30 million times on Facebook. That's a lot of times. Okay, so, and what about number 2? How many? Did anyone get the number for number 2? Okay, somebody said 8 million. Good. All right, so pro-Clinton, so it was shared 8 million times. Okay, so these are both fake stories, but look how many more times the fake anti-Clinton stories were shared compared to the fake pro-Clinton stories. So again, this probably worked out in Trump's favor a lot because there seems to be a lot of people publishing fake stories on Hillary Clinton. All right, so that was number 2. Let's do number 3. Okay, number 3, that is paragraph number 4. Okay, so this is in paragraph 4. So what did Kellyanne Conway call the Trump administration's falsehoods? So here we go. I'm going to read this over. Images from the moment Trump was taking the oath showed the crowd was relatively small and went nowhere as far down Washington's National Mall, adds the monument. Other evidence suggested a relatively small crowd in attendance. Senior aide Kellyanne Conway later characterized the Trump administration's falsehoods as alternative facts. Okay, so I just said the answer. What did she call the falsehoods? This is another word. It's actually used more commonly than falsehoods. It's another new word, just like fake news. So fake news is a new word in the English language. So this word is also a new word in the English language. And what was this word? So let you see if you guys can figure it out. Type it in. Don't be shy. Anytime now. What were these called? These were called something. They were called something facts. Okay, so facts are bits of information that are true. However, this word is going to change the meaning. Okay, and so the answer I was hoping for was Alternative facts. So what's an alternative? So this is an adjective. Alternative means like different or a different variation of. So alternative facts are basically lies. Like they're not real facts. They are fake facts. So you will often see, especially in news articles and on like television programs, you're going to see the word fake news and the word alternative facts printed a lot in the news. So these are good words to know, actually. Okay, I'm going to put them down on the new words list. Sorry, Hillary Clinton, I'm going to have to get rid of you because you're taking up space on my board. Okay, fake news. This is a noun. And alternative facts. Alternative facts. This is also a noun. All right. All right, let's move on to number 4. Who is Tim Cook? So this is in paragraph 1. Who is he? Okay, so I'm going to read out the first few sentences and see if you can tell me who this man is. Fake news is killing people's minds. Tim Cook, the head of Apple, has said. The technology boss said firms such as his own needed to create tools that would help stop the spreads of falsehoods. So who is Tim Cook? Sounds like he's someone kind of important. He's the head of a very big company that I think you all know. It's a company named after a fruit. It's the only hints I'm giving you. So who is he? Type in your answers now. Let me know who this man is in the technology sector. Who could he be? While you're typing it out, I'm just going to get rid of number 2 and number 1 because this board is getting so messy. It is very, very messy. And I think we need a board that's a bit easier on the eyes for now. Okay. Get rid of the alternative facts. Okay. Oh, someone has said Tim Cook is the head of Apple. Good. Nice job. That is indeed correct. Tim Cook is the head of Apple. So when the head of Apple, so when someone is the head, that means they are in charge. They are the leader. And they probably make a lot of money too. So Tim Cook is the head of Apple. Okay, just 2 more questions, guys. Almost done. Number 5. Okay, this is a bit of a tricky, like the way this is worded, it's a bit tricky. What percentage of those who saw fake news stories actually believed them? Okay, so this is going to be in paragraph 5. This is going to be at the end of paragraph 5. Okay. And, okay, sorry, this is not a percentage. I lied. So we're not looking for a percent number. I'm sorry. I hope that didn't mess you up. Okay, so I'm going to read the last half of paragraph 5. Hopefully you guys can get the answer. The average American saw and remembered 0.92 pro-Trump fake news stories and 0.23 pro-Clinton fake news stories, with just over half of those who recalled seeing fake news stories believing them. Okay, so that was a bit tricky. So how many, or like what percentage, roughly what percentage of those who saw the fake news stories believed them? How much? Type in the answer if you can. Hopefully you guys get this answer. And let me just grab some more water in the meantime. Okay, I'll say the answer one more time. The average American saw and remembered 0.92 pro-Trump fake news stories and 0.23 pro-Clinton fake news stories, with just over half of those who recalled seeking fake news stories believing them. All right. Ooh, we got a like. Thank you for liking our video. Woohoo! Okay. So feel free to type in your answers at any time. Okay, someone said just over half. Nice, that's right. Just over half. So just over half. So just over half of the people. So basically 50%, like a little over 50%, like maybe 51, 52% believed these fake news stories. That's a lot of people if you think about it. Okay, and last question. According to Donald Trump, how far back did the crowd at the inauguration ceremony extend? So remember, Trump is giving his speech at his inauguration ceremony. And how far back did he say the crowd extended to? Remember, what he says may not be true, but what did Trump say? So this is going to be in paragraph 3. I'm just going to write it up here. Okay, so I'm going to read the last half of paragraph 3, see if you can get the answer. Trump's spokesman, Sean Spicer, insisted that the event had attracted the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration. And Trump said he believed the crowd went all the way back to the Washington Monument. Okay, so how far back did the crowd go according to Trump? I'll give you a hint. So this is what Trump said. He said the crowd went all the way back to somewhere. Do you remember what this was called? This special monument? So how far back did the crowd go? Type in your answers now. It's now or never, guys. Oh, excuse me. Sorry for my yawning. Let me just take a sip of tea, wake up a bit more. That's better. Okay. How far back did that crowd go? So Trump said it went back this far. How far back is this? Okay, so don't see answers. That's all right. It went as far back, so it went all the way back. It went all the way back to the Washington Monument. The Washington Monument. All right. So he says it went back this far, but in reality, it did not go back that far. It was a smaller crowd. It wasn't that big of a crowd. Fake news. Okay, guys, nicely done. Well done for the questions. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to do comprehension check now. So this is just a selection between A, B, or C. So, you know, you got your 1 in 3 chance of guessing it right. I'm going to get rid of this ugly, ugly Trump drawing now. Don't want to see his face on our boards anymore. And I'm going to get rid of all these questions and the answers. Okay. There we go. Get rid of the Washington Monument. Sweet. Okay. So, okay, let's do, we only have 4 questions, so this shouldn't take very long. Let's do number 1. All right, all you have to do is type in A, B, or C. During the U.S. presidential campaign, which candidate benefited more from fake news? A, Hillary Clinton. B, Donald Trump. C, neither candidate. No one benefited. So what do you think? Who benefited the most from fake news? Who was it? Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, or neither of them? Type in your answers now. And I'm going to do number 2 as well in the meantime. Okay. So, number 2, this is a very long-winded one. So maybe I'll wait till you guys getting your answers for number 1, just so we can focus carefully on number 2. All right, and someone has said B, Donald Trump. Excuse me, that is correct. So yes, B, Donald Trump is the answer. He has benefited the most from fake news, as the article has said. Okay, number 2, which of these 3 statements is true according to the text? So listen carefully. A, the average American saw and remembered twice as many pro-Trump fake news stories as pro-Clinton fake news stories. Okay, so let's say pro-Trump fake news. So they like remember this, and let's see. Let's say, for example, 10 million. And then here is the pro-Hillary, pro-Clinton fake news. So maybe only 5 million. So these guys saw twice as many, or remembered twice as many pro-Trump stories as pro-Clinton. So is it that? Or B, the average American saw and remembered half as many pro-Clinton fake news stories as pro-Trump fake news stories. Okay, so this is kind of the same thing, like very similar. C, the average American saw and remembered 4 times as many pro-Trump fake news stories as pro-Clinton ones. Okay, so for C, we're talking about like 4 times as many, 5, 10, 15, 20. So like 20 million or more? I'm sorry, my numbers in math are awful. But the last one suggests that people remembered the pro-Trump news a lot more than the pro-Clinton one. So is it A, B, or C? Which one do you think it is? What do you guys think? Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I didn't have my coffee today, this morning. That's probably why. I'm sorry if I look sleepy. I'm trying to drink tea now to wake up some more. I was doing good for the first part of class, but now I'm just like, ew. Hopefully the tea will help me go whoop, back up again. Okay, somebody said the answer is C, and that is correct. Nice. Good. So C, the average American saw and remembered 4 times as many pro-Trump fake news than Clinton news. Okay, good stuff. Number 3. Okay, which of these statements is true according to the text? Okay. A, fake news stories definitely influence the outcome of the presidential election. B, to influence the outcome of the election, one fake news story would need to have the same effect as more than 30 campaign advertisements on TV. So let me draw that. Okay, so here's a fake news story. So this is just one. And now here is a, what was it called? Campaign advertisement. Campaign advertisement. So this is on TV, and there's 30 of these. Okay, so the effect. So basically, the effect of one news story, fake news story, has to have the same effect as 30 campaign advertisements. So, and C, fake news stories had absolutely no outcome on the, no effect on the outcome of the election. So do you think it's A, B, or C? So do you think fake news definitely influenced the election? Fake news stories didn't influence the election? Or if you needed to influence the election, you need to have, like, this needs to have the same influence as 30 campaign advertisements. What do you guys think the answer is? Okay, and I'm going to write out number 4 at this as well. Okay, number 4. Excuse me. Who, according to Tim Cook, will be the easiest to educate about fake news? A, American voters. B, children. Or C, Facebook users. Who is going to be the easiest to educate? So this was in the last paragraph. All right. Any thoughts? Okay, number 3 was a bit tricky. That's okay if you didn't get the answer. But the answer is B for number 3. So, to influence the outcome of an election, one fake news story would need to have the same effect as 30 campaign advertisements on TV. This is not the case though. Yeah. One fake news story doesn't have the same effect as 30 campaign advertisements. So it's unlikely that fake news completely affected the outcome of the election. A little bit, maybe, but not a huge amount. Okay, and number 4, so what do you think? Do you guys have an answer? Who is easiest to educate on fake news? American voters, children, or Facebook users? And someone said children. Nice, good. The answer is indeed B. Yeah, B, children. So children are the easiest to educate because they are very much in a sit and listen mode. Like they will learn easily. They are willing to learn. Okay, well done, guys. Good stuff, good stuff. Shall we keep going with this? All right, I want to make sure we have time for discussion, so I don't want to spend too much more time on this, but maybe we'll do one more thing from here. Let's do number 7, word building. Okay, I think that will be a good one. So let's get rid of this and get rid of that. And we are going to move on to part 7. Part 7, word building. Okay, so you might be able to complete this without having to read the whole article again. So we're going to complete the sentences with the correct form of the word. So let's see. Number 1. So the word here is information, but we have to change this word a little bit to make it fit in the sentence. So, supporters of both candidates, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, were accused of promoting some type of information in order to gain a political advantage. So, it's not information, it's a different type of information. So it's going to start with an M. So let's see if you can figure that out. This is a word that's commonly used in newspaper articles. It's similar to fake news, it's similar to alternative facts actually. So there's another word for these. Starts with an M. Now, number 2. Tim Cook supports blank, reliable, non-sensational news outlets. Okay, so the word is true. So there's another way we can say this. It's also adjective form. What's the best way? You might actually have to go back to the article and read to see if you can find the word. So let's see, where was that? Okay, so this will be in paragraph 1. Para 1 and true, this is going to be, so this starts with a T. And where is that word? See if I can find it. Okay. I think this is paragraph 2. All right. So you'll have to take a look at paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 if you want to find these words. So you will find this word, but again, it has an M at the start. Very similar to information. Again, true, similar, but a little bit different. And both of these are at the end of the paragraph. So look towards the end of paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. And someone has typed in misinformation for number 1. Good job. Thank you. That is indeed correct. Misinformation. Okay. So this is related to alternative facts and fake news. This is another very common word you're going to see in the news these days. So all of these 3 words are related to one another very closely. All right, so misinformation. And someone wrote truthful for number 2. That is correct. Thank you very much. Truthful. So truthful information. That's the opposite of misinformation. So when we read the news, obviously we want to get truthful information. We don't want to be reading fake news, probably. Okay. And sorry, look at all this flipping I'm doing. I'll just rip this apart. There we go. Excuse me. Number 3. A single fake article would need to have the same blank as 36, campaign ads. Okay, so our word is persuade. This is a verb, persuade. And we want the adjective form. Okay, and let's see if I can find the paragraph where you could find this. Paragraph. Okay, this is going to be paragraph 6. So paragraph 6, you're going to find this word in adjective form. So it's going to look very similar, but it'll be in adjective form. So good luck. And let's do number 4 as well. Number 4, Trump was seen as a particular, okay, so the word is benefit. This word popped up a lot today, I feel. And, okay, so this is a noun, and the other word is also a noun. It's just a different form of it. Now, let's see. See if we can find. Okay, paragraph 3. This is where you're going to find the word. Okay. Someone wrote persuasive. Nice. Persuasive is number 3. Thank you very much. Persuasive. So if somebody is persuasive, that means they can convince you to do something. And what about this one? Any thoughts for number 4? I'll let you type it in. Just going to get rid of number 1 and number 2 because we don't need them anymore. All right. Number 5 and number 6. Okay, beneficiary. Good. Someone wrote beneficiary. Thank you. Beneficiary. Someone who benefits from a situation. Number 5. A relatively small crowd was in blank at Trump's inauguration. So the word is attend, but we are looking for a noun version of this. So, and this is going to be paragraph 3. So look in paragraph 3 for this word. And number 6, Cook believes a modern version of a public service blank campaign is needed. Okay, so the word here is announce. This is a verb, and again, we are looking for a noun. So you might not even need to look in the paragraph or the story. You might be able to just convert it from verb form to noun form yourself. What is the noun form of attend, and what is the noun form of announce? What do you guys think? You're pretty smart. I think you're pretty clever, so you might be able to figure this out. Okay, get rid of that. So these will be our last 2, and then we're going to move on to conversation. Exciting, exciting. All right. Somebody said attendance. Good. Thank you. Attendance. That is the noun form. So to be in attendance means to be there for an event. And announcement is the last one. Very good, guys. Announcement. All right. Good stuff, guys. I think that is going to be it for this article. So that was our fake news article. What did you guys think of it? Was it a good article? Was it a bit too difficult or was it easy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the whole fake news stuff. Okay, so we're all done with that. Now we are going to move on to discussion. We're going to be having a discussion about television. Woo, fun stuff. Okay, so let me just get rid of this and prep the board for conversation. Okay, that's all done. Television discussion. Television discussion. All right. Now, let's do number 1. You guys ready? What images spring to mind when you hear the word television? Okay, so I say television. You say, what do you guys think? Another way we say television, we often just call it a TV. Remember, English speakers are lazy. We like to shorten our words. All right. Ooh, got another like. Thank you. Thanks for liking our video. Excellent. All right. So, when I say television or TV, what do you guys think about? Like, what comes to mind? I want you to type out your answers. It can be anything. There's no right or wrong answers. It's just what you think about when you see this word or hear this word. So, for example, when I hear the word television, I think about maybe the news. That's just one thing I might think about. But there's so many other things with television. Can you guys give me some examples? I'll let you type away while I have my tea. Good stuff. I got a chai tea today. All right. How about cartoons? I kind of like that, actually. I like cartoons. Cartoons. Yeah, what else? Anything else? Oh, someone said TV drama. Good, yeah, TV dramas, absolutely. TV dramas, or sometimes we like to call them soap operas. Soap operas. So it's very similar, TV dramas, soap operas. What else? Any other thoughts? Television? Anything else spring to mind? Trying to think what else springs to mind for me. Movies come on television sometimes, so sometimes I'll watch a movie. Movies. Anything else? Oh, someone said commercials. Good, absolutely. Yeah, advertisements or commercials. Advertisements, commercials. So yeah, usually we call them commercials when they're on TV. Advertisements, they can be anywhere, on the bus stop, in the train station, on TV. Commercials, TV only or YouTube. So yeah, absolutely. I remember seeing a lot of commercials on TV when I was younger and I hated it. Oh my goodness, how I hated it. Oy. Okay, so let me know if you guys have any more thoughts about TV and I can put them up there for you. If not, I'm going to move on to the next question, which I think will be a good one. I think I might need to erase part of this, unfortunately. Okay. Okie dokie. Bye-bye, TV bubble. Okay, next question. What are the good things and the bad things about television? So I'm going to put TV, whoop, and just make a little chart. So good things. So the good things about TV and the not so good things about TV. Okay. What are some good things about TV? What do you guys think? So don't be shy. Feel free to type in some answers to me. It makes it more fun if I have folks participating in these discussions. It's not a discussion if it's just one person, remember? So I'll start us off. A good thing about TV, okay, I'm going to go on the news bandwagon again. It can be a good way to get the news. So like you can watch the news on there. Especially if you don't like reading newspapers. I don't like reading newspapers sometimes. So sometimes just watching the TV for news can be great. Any other good things? What else is good about watching TV? Any thoughts? Oh, someone said it's relaxing. Good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's relaxing, usually. Unless you're watching a sports game and your team is losing and you get stressed out. I know some people who watch sports games on TV and they get upset. But usually it's relaxing. Absolutely. Yeah. It can be very relaxing. What are some other good things about TV? I don't watch much TV. I watch YouTube more than often. Okay, what else is good about TV? Maybe you can discover new shows. Yeah, you can discover new shows. New shows. Yeah, so you can find out new fun programs and, it can be really interesting. Absolutely. Or it can be a good conversation starter. So when you're talking with someone, you might be like, hey, did you watch that episode of Game of Thrones on TV last night? So it can be a good conversation starter, a good topic. Many people here love to talk about TV shows or like what's on Netflix right now. People just love it. Okay, so I think we got a pretty nice list. If you guys have any more ideas, feel free to type them out. Let's move on to bad things, the not so good. Okay. What are some bad things about TV? What do you guys think? I can start us off with one. It might not be true, but like sometimes there could be a bit of fake news. Fake news? Especially Fox TV in America was accused. So I'll just say like Fox TV. What are some other, but this is fairly rare. I think this is not super common. I think the news stations try to be truthful for the most part. What are some other bad things about TV? Any thoughts? How about commercials? Sometimes I think there are too many commercials. Too many commercials. Okay. I think this is one really annoying thing about TV is that there's just too many commercials and they're like, buy this car, buy this kitchen thing, buy this fancy thingamadoo, buy this video game. There's just too many commercials. I could be like, oh my God. So that's one bad thing about TV, I feel. What are some other bad things? Do you guys have any more thoughts on this? I have another one. I think it's a very passive activity. Maybe it's too passive of an activity. It's too passive of an activity. So there's the danger that you just might like sit there for hours and be like, click, click. Yeah. So you can spend hours just sitting on your couch watching TV. Like I've been like that for sure. So it can be a very passive activity and maybe it's a little too passive, in my opinion. All right, so I think we got a pretty good list. Again, if you have any other thoughts about bad things about TV, feel free to let me know. Okay, what's another question we could do? Oh, number 3. This is a good one. Okay, but I think I'm going to erase the board again. All right, get rid of this, get rid of that. Okay. Number 3, you have to get creative here. What would life be like without television, without TV? And I'm going to put YouTube as well, and like all sorts of online videos. Online videos, Netflix. Okay. So let's pretend you don't have any of these. What do you think life would be like? You can't watch videos on YouTube. You can't watch Netflix. No more TV. Oh my gosh. What do you think your life would be like? And what would the life of people around you be like? What do you think? I'd like you to type out your thoughts and answers here. I'm trying to think what life would be like without TV. Oh man. I might actually be happier, I think. I feel like I spend too much time looking at videos, and it's a bit of a time waster, I think. So, I don't know. Maybe I would learn many new skills. I would learn many new skills. Perhaps. Many new skills. Yeah, so that's one thing that might happen. Someone said fewer distractions. Yeah, that's good. Absolutely. There would be fewer distractions. Yeah, so I have a hard time doing my homework because I get distracted by YouTube and the internet all the time. So if we don't have TV, Netflix, or Facebook, there would be fewer distractions. Maybe you could get more stuff done. So yeah, we could get more stuff done. We could be more productive, essentially. We could be more productive. Not a bad deal. Maybe we should get rid of online videos and TV. That would never happen though. Yeah, so these are some very good thoughts. What else? What would life be like without online videos and TV and YouTube? What else? How about the news? I want you guys to think about the news. What would it be like to get the news? Like, how would we get the news without TV or cell phones? What would we do? Someone said newspapers. Good. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we would get the news from newspapers. We would get the news from newspapers, perhaps. From newspapers. There's another way we can get it. Or have you heard of this term? Word of mouth. Word of mouth. This is a very good term. It's fairly commonly used. Word of mouth. So basically, this means that you hear about something from another person. So let's say, for example, I heard from a friend that a great new bubble tea place is opening. And I discovered it through word of mouth. So this might be how the news would be passed around. That's how it worked in the past. So people would tell other people, hey, did you hear about the battle like down the river? Word of mouth. That was how the news was passed around in the old days. Okay, so if you have any more thoughts, feel free to type them in. I think we have time for like maybe 2 more questions though. Okay, let's do number 4. So I gotta erase this. Ugh. Get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy. Okay. So here's number 4. I want you to be honest with this question. How much TV So this includes Netflix, YouTube, TikTok, or whatever else everyone uses, etc. Do you watch every day? So how much of this stuff do you watch every day? So how many minutes or how many hours? So this includes your phone or your laptop, not just a television screen. I want you to be honest. So let me just take a sip before I admit to how much screen time I have. That's another good word, screen time. So I think I have a little bit too much screen time. Like I think I spend too much time looking at my screen. So for me, I'm just going to call it TV. Like it's Netflix and YouTube that I mainly watch, but I'm just going to call it TV. So I watch, I think about 2 hours of TV every day, approximately. It changes. Some days I watch more, some days I watch less. So for me, I watch about 2 hours every day. What about you guys? How much do you watch every day? It's okay, I'm not going to judge you if you watch a lot or don't watch any. That's totally fine. Everyone has a different lifestyle. I would like you to type out your answer though. That would be lovely, please and thank you. Okay, I'm going to prepare our next and probably last question in the meantime. Let's do number 6. Does TV kill the conversation? Kill the conversation in your family? Okay. So what it means by this is here's a TV, and let's say you guys are talking to each other and, blah, 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 blah. But then when the TV turns on, all of a sudden, everyone's watching the TV and nobody's talking anymore. And then everyone's just looking at the TV and the conversation stops. So that's what it means to kill the conversation. So do you think this happens to your family? Does TV kill the conversation in your family? So for me, I think it kind of does. When I was younger, when I was living with my family, we never watched TV at dinner. We would always have dinner together and we would never watch TV. For my husband and I, that's my family now, just me and my husband, living together. Sometimes we eat dinner while watching TV, and I think it kills our conversation. We don't talk much when we watch TV. It's hard for me to talk and concentrate on the TV, so we end up just kind of sitting there pretty quietly watching TV. So for me, I think it does kind of kill the conversation with my family a bit, but I think some families, but yeah, I want you guys to let me know. Please type out your answers. Does TV kill the conversation with your family or not? I know some families, they can make conversation while watching TV, and then they can make funny commentary, or maybe they'll argue about what's going on. My husband's family is actually a little bit like that. They'll watch the TV, they'll commentate on it, and they'll have a conversation together about it. So it doesn't kill the conversation for every family, I suppose. Okay, guys, so we are now at the end of our second class. One more class to go for today, our election, and we'll be doing Breaking News English. Okay, so have a nice 10-minute break, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. All right, it's our last class of the day. How are we feeling? Hope we're feeling all right. I'm feeling pretty good. So, like I said at the start of class today, we are doing a breaking news English article. More reading. Hooray! So this is, again, on the topic of news, like most of our content this week is. So, the title of the article is called Young People Are Not Watching TV News. Okay, I think that title speaks for itself, but do you think this is true or not true? What do you think of this title here? What are your thoughts on this? Young people are not watching TV news. Okay, so when they say TV news, they are referring to an actual TV with the news. Like, here's a reporter and, they're talking about something. So this is TV news. Not just like looking at your phone, but like actually looking at a TV. And they say young people are not watching TV news anymore. What do you think about that? Me, I can kind of believe it. I don't usually watch news on the TV. If I try to get news, I usually look at my phone for news. So I can personally believe that. I don't know what you guys think though. You can feel free to let me know in the comments below. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to read this article. I'm just going to read through it one time only. Now, before we read, I want to ask you guys a few questions, that maybe we want to find out in here. Okay, so it says young people are not watching TV news. So maybe the first question we could ask is why? Why aren't young people watching TV news? Why aren't young people watching TV news? I wonder why. That's a very good question. What's another question we could ask? How? So how are young people getting the news then? How are young people getting the news? So if they're not watching TV, what are they doing? Are they reading newspapers or doing something else? What's another good question? Let me see. Okay, if you guys can think of any other questions that might be good to ask, let me know. But I think this might be good. Or actually, I got one more question. It might kind of connect to these, though. So what are young people doing instead? Doing instead of watching the news. So maybe young people aren't getting the news anymore. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they're doing something else. Maybe they're playing video games or I don't know. Who knows? Okay, so these are 3 questions I'd kind of like you to think about and see if we can answer them when we read this article. Okay. So before we read this, what do you guys think? Do you have any thoughts? Why do you think young people aren't watching TV news anymore? Why do you think? Do you have any opinions or thoughts? I'd like you to type out any thoughts you have. Why? Why aren't they watching it anymore? And how? So how are people getting the news? What do you guys think? So for me, for example, I think maybe they're looking at their phone to get the news, because that's what I do most of the time. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And number 3, what are young people doing instead of watching the news? What are they doing? I think they're watching Netflix. I don't know. I want you to let me know what you think. What are they doing instead of watching the news? I think they're watching Netflix, but maybe that's not true. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to start reading the article after a quick sip of tea. There we go. Okay. All right, guys, so we're going to read this article. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Young people are not watching TV news. July 30th, 2019. 1 year ago. Young people in Great Britain are watching less and less news on television. This is according to Ofcom, a regulatory body that oversees broadcasting practices in the UK, United Kingdom. This comes as no surprise as young people become increasingly addicted to their smartphones. There we go. So, sounds like maybe it's something to do with smartphones. Okay, where was I? Youth are opting for online distractions like YouTube videos, social media, and games rather than switch on a TV and watch a news program. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it sounds like people are, what are they doing? It sounds like they're watching YouTube. Yeah, and playing video games. And what else? There's one more thing. Social media, Facebook, Twitter. What else? Instagram. All that fun stuff. So instead of watching the news, this is what people are doing apparently. So maybe there won't be an answer to this question after all. We'll see. Okay. Britain's Guardian newspaper reported that the youth of the nation are more likely to get their day's news about the world from social media or by reading graffiti in bus stations than seeing it on the television, with the average 16 to 24-year-old watching just 2 minutes worth of live TV news per day. Okay, so we did get to answer this question. So usually youth are going to get it through social media. And they said one more thing. I was very surprised about this actually. Graffiti at bus stops. Do you guys know what graffiti is? Okay, so if you've been to Vancouver, you've probably seen a lot of this. So graffiti often comes from a spray can, and often people will like paint stuff. So they might paint, spray paint essentially, and you go, and then you can make pictures with it, or you can write things. People write awful things sometimes they write political things. So this is graffiti. It's art from a spray can with spray paint. Okay, and usually it's considered illegal, usually. Okay, right, so we're moving on to the next paragraph. Ofcom commissioned research into the news viewing habits of people around the country. The report is called News Consumption in the UK, 2019. The research suggests that young people are increasingly using social media as their primary news source. Okay, so more than graffiti, this is the primary, this is their main news source. Facebook, Twitter. Researchers wrote, there is evidence that UK adults are consuming news more actively via social media. They reported an increase in posts and comments on Facebook and Twitter about the news compared to last year. Ofcom suggested presenting news stories in a less complicated, more accessible way to attract young people's attention. Some people suggested, however, this would be dumbing down content for young audiences. Okay, that's interesting. So some people think The news on TV should be easier to understand. It should be more attractive. Other people think this is a bad idea. It's dumbing down. So this is an idiom that is sometimes. So to dumb down, so it means to make something, okay, so it can mean make it less complicated, but too much. Like you're making something far too easy and far too simple. That's what dumb down means. So, for example, I'm really bad at math, so I need my math. If I'm gonna get math homework, it needs to be dumbed down for me because I cannot do math. It is my worst subject ever. All right, so now we've read this article. I'd like us to do the true or false section. So I'm going to, oh, actually, let's look at number 1. We didn't figure out number 1. So why aren't people watching the TV news? Did we really get a clear answer in here? I don't know if we got a super clear answer, but I have some ideas. They do connect to this. So if you guys have some suggestions for number 1, let me know. So why do you think people aren't watching TV news anymore? What's going on? Oh, somebody said social media. Yeah, absolutely. So maybe young people like to use social media more. So they just love to use Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and TikTok or whatever else. So they're spending so much time on social media, they don't have much time left for TV news. Here's another thing. The article did not mention this, but maybe they don't, okay, I'm running out of space, never mind. Maybe they don't have a TV. Like, that's a total possibility. I think everyone, like almost everybody has a smartphone these days. So some people don't think there's need for a TV. This works like a TV. Or some people have laptops that work like TVs. So maybe some people don't have a TV and they don't watch the television news. Very real possibility. Okay, so I'm going to erase this now. And we are going to do comprehension, true or false. All right. Do you guys watch the news on television? I do admit I'm one of those young people who doesn't. I think I do spend more time on social media, Facebook especially. I think I need to stop. Okay, true or false? So all you have to do here is write down true or false. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Okay. Oops, not number 1, letter A. Okay, guys, so A. A regulatory body said young people are watching less TV news. True or false? I mean, the answer is kind of in the title, so I think it's going to be pretty easy to answer. So, younger people are watching less TV news. True or false? What do you think? I'm getting through this tea really fast. Oh my. Somebody said true. Thank you. Absolutely. Like the title says, younger people are indeed watching less TV news. I can speak for them. I'm one of those young people watching less TV news. Uh-oh. Okay, letter B. The article said it was a surprise that young people watch little TV news. So they're surprised that young people don't watch much TV news. True or false? What do you think? So I'm gonna read out the part of the story that says this. Okay. This comes as no surprise as young people become increasingly addicted to their smartphones. So the article said it was a surprise that young people watch little TV news. True or false? What do you guys think? I'll let you type in your answers. Go ahead. All right, somebody said false. Good. Yeah, it is false. Can you tell me why? If you can't tell me why, don't worry. Not a big deal. So why is it false? So basically, the article says young people are not watching TV news very much anymore. And they say this comes as no surprise. So people are not surprised that younger people are watching TV because they're using their cell phones more. So no surprise. Okay, let's do letter C. A newspaper said people get news by reading graffiti in bus stations. True or false? You remember what graffiti is, right? I explained that. Okay, so I'll read out the sentence. Britain's Guardian newspaper reported that the youth of the nation are more likely to get their day's news about the world from social media or by reading graffiti in bus stations than seeing it on the telly. Okay, so there's your answer there. So do young people get their graffiti from bus stations? Is that true or false? What do you guys think? Yes, it's true. Thank you. Someone said true. Yes. So this newspaper, it said they get it from social media and graffiti on bus stations. Again, I was kind of surprised when I learned people get their news from there. Okay, so let's do letter D. Yeah, letter D. Okie dokie. The article says that young people watch 2 minutes of live TV a day. True or false? So young people will be watching 2 minutes of live TV news a day. What do you guys think? Let's see if I can find it. The average 16 to 24-year-old watching just 2 minutes worth of live TV news per day. All right, so is it true or is it false? What do you guys think? Okay. True. Yes, someone said true. Good. It is indeed true. They only watch about 2 minutes of live news TV per day, on average. Maybe not every day, but just some days. Okay, let's do E. The article said young people use the radio as a primary news source. True or false? Okay. So does this sound familiar to you? Young people are using a radio to listen to the news. Okay, this is a weird looking radio, I know. Yeah. So the primary news source. Do you guys know this word, primary? So this is an adjective. Primary means main. So for example, my primary food source for breakfast is oats. I eat oats for breakfast quite often. Okay, so youth get their news primarily from radios. True or false? Yes, it is indeed false. Good. Nicely done, guys. So if this is false, where do they get their news from? Where do they get it from? Not from radios, but from somewhere else. Can you guys tell me? Where do they get their news from? Social media. They get it from social media. Facebook and Twitter and all that fun stuff. Feel like I'm saying Facebook and Twitter nonstop today. Okay, letter F. Getting there. The article said that young people are not using social media to get the news. True or false? Okay, I hope you get this right, because we just talked about this in the last one. Young people are not getting social media. They're not using social media to get news. The answer is yes, indeed, false. Thank you. They are using social media to get their news, as we clarified in E. Okay. Their primary news source is Facebook and Twitter. The social medias. Okay, get rid of this. I think we only have 2 questions left. And then we're going to move on to synonym match. Okay, G, letter G. People are posting more about news on social media. True or false? Okay, again, this is a bit of a no-brainer because like the last 2 questions we are talking about people are getting their news from social media. So people are posting more, like you know when you post on Twitter, you share news articles. So more people are posting about the news on social media. Is this true or is this false? What do you guys think? Again, I think it's a pretty easy question to answer. Yes, it is true. Good. So like it says in the story, they reported an increase in posts and comments on Facebook and Twitter about the news compared to last year. So more people are posting the news on Facebook. Sometimes I do this too. I post news articles on Facebook. Okay, last one, guys. H. Some people suggested making news stories more complicated. Okay, so we got to make these news stories more complex, more difficult. True or false? So I'm going to read out the context here, see if you can guess it. Ofcom suggested presenting news stories in a less complicated, more accessible way to attract young people's attention. Some people suggested this would be dumbing down content for young audiences. Okay, so some people suggested making news stories more complicated. Is it true or is it false? What do you guys think? All right, yes, it is false. Good. Why is it false? What did they say? So they didn't suggest making news stories more complicated. They suggested making news stories less complicated and more accessible. So what does that mean, more accessible? Like easier for more people to reach and understand. So maybe there'll be more pictures or videos in the news. Maybe it'll be shorter. All right. Good stuff, guys. So that was the true-false comprehension. Okay, so we're going to move on to synonym match now. I think you all know what synonyms are by now. Words that are similar to one another. Okay, so let me put all the synonyms up here. So we got main. I feel like I just talked about that word. Amusements. Amusements. Subject matter. This is one word or one thing. Subject matter. Inspects. So this is a verb. Ordered. This is past tense. Proof. As stated by. As stated by. Win over. And I'm going to add 2 more down here. Not recorded. Interesting. And evermore. All right. There we go. Okay. So we have 10 words in bold. These are words that showed up in the story. And we have to match them to a synonym. A word that has the same meaning. So this should be a nice vocabulary building exercise for you. Okay, so let's see. Number 1, we have according to. So what is the synonym for this? Which of these 10 words does according to match? So you can type out the word or you can just type out the letter. It's totally up to you. And I would also like you guys to do number 2, overseas. Okay, so this is a 3rd person verb. And I'd also like you to do Increasingly, increasingly. So you know what increase is, right? To increase something means to make it higher or to get more of it. So increasingly, if you think about it, kind of means more and more. Okay. So what do you guys think the answers are for this? Type in your answers now, synonyms. All right. Someone said as stated by for number 1. Good. Nice. Okay. As stated by. As stated by. That's letter G. Okay. So this is a word we use often. According to this research, we found out that girls are smarter than boys. Haha. Just kidding. All right, so you'll hear this often in the news and when you're reading papers. According to blah, blah, blah. Overseas. Does anyone have an answer for this? Overseas. What do you think it is? And increasingly. What are your thoughts? And that's it for my tea. It's all gone. Wow. I must have been thirsty or sleepy or both. Not sleepy anymore though. Woohoo! Got that sweet, sweet caffeine powering me up. All right, overseas, I do see an answer. And it was inspects. Good. Yes, that was the answer I was hoping for. Inspects. And that's letter D. Okay. Yeah. So to oversee something is, think of it, you got the word see. So you're kind of looking at something. So often when you're at a job, your boss will oversee your work. They're going to inspect and check your work to make sure it's okay. So I'll put that here. Oversee, verb. And number 3, increasingly. I don't see any suggestions. So the answer here is ever more. So this is J. Yeah, J. Excuse me. I don't hear evermore as much. Increasingly, I hear a lot. So with global warming, the temperatures are getting increasingly hotter. Our summers are getting increasingly hotter. Okay. And I think I'll erase these for now. And let's do number 4, number 5, number 6. Number 4, number 5, number 6, and maybe number 7. Okay. Number 4 is distractions. Oh, my goodness. This is the bane of my existence, distractions. This is why I can't get my studying done. All the distractions. And live, not live, not the verb form. This is the noun form, like live television. We are watching this hockey game live. And commissioned. So this is a verb, but it is a past tense verb. And we have primary. Okay, I wrote that up there. Do you remember? Do you remember what primary means? I hope so. Okay. What's another word for distractions? This is kind of a funny synonym, I think. Oh yeah, and I can get rid of this. We already did inspects. All right, so distractions, live, commissioned, and primary. Okay, what do you think the answers are here, my friends? All right, someone wrote amusements for not number 1, number 4. Very good. Amusements. We don't really use this word like in this context. So that was letter B. Okay, amusements. We use distractions far more often. We don't usually say amusements. We say distractions. But usually distractions are amusing. Like, you know, they're fun. I much prefer to watch YouTube videos as opposed to doing my homework. It's amusing, absolutely. Distraction, very good word. Okay, live. So what is live? Okay, so we got rid of amusements. Live means, yes, not recorded. Good, not recorded. Usually not recorded. And that's letter I. Okay. So yeah, so when you're watching live television, you're watching things happening right at that moment. It's not a recording, it's actually happening. So the news is usually live, usually. Okay, commissioned. This might be a bit of a tricky one. What is a word for commissioned? Okay, I can probably get rid of this stuff right here. This is a verb. We only have two verbs actually. Okay. So what is commissioned and what is primary? Somebody wrote main for primary. Nice, good. Main is A. So yeah, like I described earlier, main, primary. Like my primary food group for breakfast is oats. Do you remember? Commissioned. So the word I was hoping for is ordered. Ordered. And that is letter E. Okay. So to commission something means to order something. Now, this is not food. Like, you don't commission a hamburger at McDonald's. This is for other things like research or art. You can get someone to commission, do an art commission. So that means they will do some art for you if you give them money. So usually it's an exchange of money for services. Usually not related to food, but for like other things. So that's what a commission is. It can be a noun or a verb. So I'll put an N next to it. Okay, so 3 more questions. I'm just going to get rid of this. Right. How are we doing, guys? Last 18 minutes of class. Almost there. Okay, number 8, evidence. Evidence. Okay, this is a noun. 9, attract. This is a verb. And number 10, content. So not the verb, but the noun form. Okay, so what is evidence? So for example, when, let's say you are reporting a crime to a police officer. You are saying, my neighbor stole my car. I know it's my neighbor. So they're going to ask, okay, do you have any evidence to show us that your neighbor stole your car? Show us the evidence that your neighbor did this. So another word for evidence is, this is a noun. So we got 3 words. We got subject matter, proof, and win over. One of these is a verb, 2 of these are nouns. So what do you think it is? And attract, so this is a verb. So to attract someone, so let's say for example, if I leave peanut butter sandwiches outside my house, I am going to attract animals to my house. Maybe dogs, because dogs love peanut butter. So I will attract a lot of animals. So what do you guys think? And content. So what does content mean? So for example, the content of today's class consisted of 2 readings and 1 discussion. All right, so I see somebody has got their answer and they said proof for number 8. Good. Proof, evidence, these are the same words. So when you're doing a research paper, when you're doing research, you need evidence. So when this research took place, the researchers had to get evidence on young people not watching TV news anymore. And attract, Someone wrote win over. Good. To win over. And that means the last one, number 10, content is going to be subject matter. Subject matter. I think we see content a bit more often than subject matter, but this is especially used in TV shows, where they might say, the subject matter of this television program may be upsetting. If you're a child, don't watch it. All right, guys. So, last 15 minutes of class, I think we'll do discussion. We'll do a little bit more discussion. And if we have time, maybe we could do a phrase match or some spelling. Okay, so I'm going to erase this. Okay. And get rid of this. Get rid of the evidence. Alrighty. So if you have any questions about any of the vocabulary, by the way, just let me know. Okay, guys, let's do the discussion part. So, A. Let's do letter A. How important is the news to you? Is the news to you? So there's many ways you could express this. You could say not important at all. At all. You could say a little important. A little important. You could say, you could just say important. Yeah, it's important. Or you could say very important or extremely important. Okay. So I'm not saying you have to choose one of these 4 things, but this is just a way that you could do it. So this is not important at all. A little important. Important or very important. So how important is the news to you? So, and maybe you could even add a 3rd category. You could say somewhat important. Okay. So this is going in order of importance, this being the most important. So what do you guys think? How important is the news to you? There's no right or wrong answer, okay? But I do want you to type out your answer. For me, I'd say it's somewhat important. I feel like I should say this, but I don't watch the news or read the news that much. I think it is important to know what's going on around the world and in my country and in my community. But I don't like to look at the news very much. Like I said yesterday, it can make me a little bit depressed sometimes. But I think the news for me, it's somewhat important. How about you? I see someone wrote a little important. All right, good, yeah. So that's totally fine. Maybe it's a little important. Maybe I should be over here. I don't know. But yeah, everyone has a difference in opinions. My parents, for example, they would watch the news every single night. So they would say it's important. Maybe older folks feel the news is important or very important. All right, good. If anyone else wants to give their opinion, feel free. And let's do another one. Oh, B. What is the best source of news? What is the best source of news? So this could be a particular website, or it could be maybe websites or news websites, Facebook, Twitter. What else is there? TV news, like live television news, newspapers. Those are some ideas. The radio. So those are some sources. News websites. Okay. So what do you guys think is the best source of news, in your opinion? There's no right or wrong answer, once again. For me, I would say I think the best source of news, maybe newspapers, maybe. I think like quite a few newspapers try to keep their stuff truthful. You remember that word, right? Truthful? Truthful. It's an adjective. So they try to keep their news real and truthful. Usually they don't post too much fake news. Although it's not impossible that fake news could show up in newspapers. But I find newspapers to be more trustworthy. Whereas some news websites, some are really good, but some can definitely produce fake news. And I feel like I have to be really careful about the news I find on here. Yeah. So for me, I think the best source is newspapers. What do you guys think? What do you think is the best source? All right, I see somebody said news websites. Good. And yeah, like I said, news websites, they can be a great source as long as they're a trusted website. All right, good stuff. Now, let's do question, what would be a good one? Let's do letter E, because we already talked about C a lot, I feel. Okay, so we'll get rid of this. All right, 9 more minutes. Okay. This arm's gonna get so buff and strong with all the erasing strokes I'm doing on this board. Yeah, okay. E, why are people so addicted to their smartphones? Why are people like Melanie so addicted to their smartphones? To their smartphones. Okay. So again, there's no right or wrong answer. This is your opinion. Why do you think young people are so addicted to their smartphones? What are your thoughts on this? For me, I think people are so addicted to their smartphones because they're so convenient. They're so convenient. Convenient and easy to carry around. To carry around to anywhere. So, you know, in the past, you can't carry your TV onto a bus. It's too heavy. But, you know, like, look at a smartphone. It's so small. It's really compact. And, like, you can do anything. Like, you can call your friends. You can text people. You can look at Google Maps to find your way. Like, I use my smartphone for everything. It is so convenient. And like, I can just put it into my bag or pocket and go on my merry way. So because I have this with me everywhere, I find that I'm always just out of habit, like on the bus, put it away. And then once again, 5 minutes later, take it out, play Pokemon Go or whatever I do. Yeah, I think that is one reason why young people are so addicted to their smartphones. They're just so easy to take everywhere. You could take it to bed. I take mine to bed, and that's probably not a good thing. Do you guys take your smartphones to bed? I definitely do. I need to stop it. I really need to stop it. So, are there any other reasons why you think young people are getting so addicted to smartphones? Any thoughts, guys? Someone said social media. Good, yeah. So maybe there's easy access to social media. Easy access to social media and videos like YouTube. So yeah, you can like easily go on social media. You can watch YouTube videos anywhere. Yeah, they're a very big distraction. They're a huge distraction. All right, so yeah, I think that's pretty good for that question. If you have any other thoughts on it, let me know and I'll read out your thoughts. Okay, we have time for one more, maybe 2 more questions. Oh, interesting. Let's do letter F. How good is YouTube? How good is YouTube at providing news? This is something I've never thought about before, actually. Okay, do any of you guys get your news from YouTube? Is this something that you guys do? So me, I don't know if I've ever gotten my news from YouTube before. Maybe I have, I just didn't realize it. But this is not something I do very often. I usually watch like stupid things like cat or dog videos or video game content on YouTube. I usually don't go to YouTube for news. That's not my thing. So I don't know how good YouTube is at providing news. I need you guys to help me out here. What do you think? Have you guys watched any news on YouTube? Is it good at providing news? What do you think? You could just say yes or no if you like. You don't have to give a reason, but it would be nice if you gave me some more context. Okay. Actually, I may have seen a little bit of something like news. Not like live news or like really recent news, but it was people interviewing other people about their lives. So for example, I watched someone from a YouTube channel, and they went and they interviewed some people living in poverty in the Philippines. And while I don't know if that counts as news or not, it was fairly recent, like 1 year ago. And it was good. It made me aware of what's happening in other countries. But that's the closest I think I've gotten to YouTube news. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I don't see anyone providing me answers right now. Maybe you guys haven't watched YouTube news either. That's totally fine. I don't know how good YouTube is at giving news. I'd be careful. I'd be careful. If it's an official TV news channel that has a YouTube channel, you could probably trust it. But yeah, you should watch out. Let's do G. Last one, G. What do you think of getting news? What do you think of getting news? Getting news from bus station graffiti. Bus station graffiti. Okay, and it doesn't even have to be bus station graffiti, just graffiti in general. What do you guys think about this? So like I said, when I read that, I was genuinely surprised that people do this, that people graffiti the news on bus stations. Now, personally, I think that's kind of cool, actually, because graffiti, it can be really cool. Like, you can get beautiful art from graffiti. So I don't know if people are making art out of it or if they're just like just writing out words really quickly. But I don't know, I think that's kind of cool. But it's probably illegal. This is not legal because when you're defacing public property with a spray paint can, usually that's against the law. If you're caught, you have to pay money and you might have to clean it off yourself. So this is not legal, but I think it's kind of cool. You know, like it can make it very accessible for people of all classes and backgrounds, perhaps, especially lower classes and lower backgrounds. So that's my thought on graffiti at bus stations. So I'll write down some notes, but I want you guys to give me your thoughts. So type out your thoughts. So I don't know, like I think might be more accessible to different classes. To different classes. And youth, yeah, perhaps it's more accessible to youth, definitely. All right, so all is still looking quiet on the front. That's okay. We are out of time anyway. So I believe you have an assignment due tomorrow, so please try to get that in by tomorrow if you can. So for the next 3 days, Alan's going to be teaching you. I'm going out of town, but not to worry, I will be back next Tuesday. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I hope you had a great lesson today, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Good.